Have you ever felt that? That sudden kind of horrible dread when you're put on the spot, asked to speak English spontaneously.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe it's, high stakes like an IELTS exam or a job interview, or even just trying to sound confident in a group chat.
Yeah.
You've got the ideas right. You want to sound natural, maybe even native-like. But then, poof, mind goes blank.
It's incredibly common, that pressure to get your thoughts out clearly and quickly, especially when it's not your first language. It can feel, yeah, really overwhelming.
That is exactly the challenge we're diving into today. We've pulled together insights from some, frankly, brilliant sources. We're talking Matt Abraham's work on spontaneous speaking,
His workshops are fantastic.
right, and also the discipline of the 100-Day English Speaking Challenge, plus loads of practical tips that help with everything, really.
It's quite a mix, but it all points towards becoming more fluent and natural.
Yeah, our mission here is to unpack all these strategies, the goal, to help you master spontaneous English so you sound engaging, fluent, totally natural without that awful wave of panic hitting you.
And what's really interesting is how these different approaches, they actually work together, you know? It's more than just learning phrases. It's about changing habits, changing how you think.
So what does this mean for you listening? Well, if you're looking for those aha moments or just want to feel really well informed and ready for anything, these techniques, they're a shortcut.
A practical shortcut.
Exactly. This isn't just about passing a test, though. I mean, it'll definitely help with IELTS or interviews. It's bigger. It's about transforming how you communicate. Full stop.
Imagine walking into a meeting and just nailing it, or feeling comfortable sharing ideas.
That's the aim. Fluency, confidence, natural speech patterns, that's what these strategies deliver.
And it's about making knowledge useful, right? These aren't just theories. They're tools for your everyday life, real results.
Okay, so with all these different angles, where do we even start? One thing really stood out as, like, the bedrock,
Yeah.
the absolute power of daily, real practice.
Ah, yes, this really gets to the heart of that 100-day challenge philosophy. It sounds simple, but it's powerful. Speak English for just 10 minutes every single day for 100 days straight.
Okay, 10 minutes a day sounds doable, but there's a catch, right?
There is, and it's crucial, according to the sources. It has to be with real people.
Real people. Why is that so non-negotiable? I mean, can't you just practice with an app or, talk to yourself in the mirror?
That's a great question. Practicing with a real person, it's
Yeah.
a whole different ballgame. You're not just reciting lines, you're in a dynamic conversation.
Hmm.
You have to read subtle cues like a slight pause or the way someone shifts their weight.
Yeah.
You adapt on the fly. There's a kind of emotional connection, even a small one, that forces you to really engage.
So AI feedback or mirror practice, it just can't replicate that.
Not fully. That real-time adjustment, responding to another human being, that's what builds true spontaneous speaking muscle. It's irreplaceable for genuine fluency.
Okay, makes sense. But the immediate question for a lot of people is probably, where do I find these real people, especially if they don't live in an English-speaking environment?
Yeah, good point. The sources have practical answers. Obviously, friends, family, colleagues, if you have them, great, use them.
Right.
But if not, there are tools. Apps like Cambly, Italki, Tandem, they're highlighted specifically. They connect you with native speakers, teachers, or even just other learners who are serious about practicing. Makes finding a partner much easier.
And part of this is tracking it, right? Keeping a log.
Absolutely. Just
Yeah.
a simple notebook or a spreadsheet. Log those 10 minutes every day, seeing your progress, noticing you're feeling more fluent, more confident. It's huge motivation. It shows you the effort is paying off.
I can see that.
Yeah.
But I bet even with that commitment, some days you just sit down, ready for your 10 minutes, and nothing.
Mm.
Like, what on earth do you talk about?
You totally hit the nail on the head there that, what do I say? Panic is real. It can make you just want to skip the practice.
Yeah.
But the 100-day challenge has this brilliant little tool for exactly that. The A to Z mnemonic. Super simple, but really effective for always having a topic ready.
Okay, A to Z. How does that work? Give me some examples.
Sure. So each letter is a topic prompt. Like A could be for accomplishments, something you're proud of recently.
Hmm.
B for books, what are you reading or want to read?
Okay.
C for childhood, a favorite memory maybe. D for dreams, like future goals, or even literally what you dreamt last night.
Huh, okay.
The idea is you rotate through them, so you always have a starting point.
So it gets you over that initial hurdle.
Yeah.
How does just having a topic list help with spontaneity itself, though?
Well, it reduces the mental load. Instead of scrambling for what to say, you already have a category. Your brain can then focus on how you're saying it, the flow, the vocabulary, responding naturally.
Ah, I see.
Plus, rotating topics keeps it fresh. You're drawing on different parts of your experience each time, which makes the practice feel more genuinely spontaneous, less like a script.
Okay, so you've got your practice partner, you've got your topic. But then there's the nerves, the sheer anxiety that can just freeze you up.
Absolutely. The psychological side is massive. And this is where Matt Abraham's insights are just gold. He has these really practical strategies for managing speaking anxiety.
Okay, tell me more.
Mhm.
Because that physical feeling of panic, it's rough. How do you handle that?
One of his key ideas is to greet anxiety. So when you feel your heart pounding or your hands get clammy, instead of fighting it, you just acknowledge it.
Just notice it.
Yeah. Silently say to yourself, okay, this is me feeling nervous. It's normal.
Yeah.
Abrahams points out like 85% of people get public speaking nerves, so you're definitely not alone.
Wow, 85%. That actually helps a bit.
Right. It's not about eliminating the nerves. It's about stopping them from spiraling. Acknowledge the feeling, then focus on your message. Don't let the nerves hijack the whole thing.
That reframing sounds really useful.
Mm.
What else? Any other mental shifts?
A big one is changing your mindset from a performance to a conversation. When we feel like we're performing, the pressure skyrockets. But if you think of it as just a dialogue, a two-way street, it instantly feels less intimidating.
So you're not the only one responsible for keeping it going.
Exactly. You can ask questions. What do you think? How does that sound to you? Engage the other person. It becomes a shared thing, not a solo spotlight.
That's smart. And it's warm-up techniques too, right?
Yeah.
Practical things to do beforehand.
Oh, yeah. These are great for getting out of your head and into the present moment. Simple stuff. Tongue twisters, remember? She sells seashells by the seashore.
Ah, yeah. Or I slit a sheet.
A sheet I slit, and on that slitted sheet I sit. Try saying that fast 5 times. Or even just taking a quick walk before you speak. Or something weirdly focusing, like counting backward from 100 by 7s.
Backward by 7s. Okay, that would definitely distract you from worrying.
It works. It just shifts your mental focus. And then there are these fun, kind of improv-based exercises he uses.
Oh, like what?
One is called Shout the Wrong Name. You literally just point at stuff and call it the wrong thing. Point at your mug, call it a stapler. Point at your phone, call it a cloud.
Okay. Looks around, so this lamp is a flamingo.
Exactly. It sounds silly, but the point is to practice speaking without self-censoring, to embrace what Abrahams calls the dare to be dull mindset. Just get words out without judging them.
I like that. Dare to be dull.
Mm.
It takes the pressure off being brilliant constantly.
Totally. And another one is the gift exchange. You pretend to give someone an imaginary gift, like, here, I got you. A bucket of sand.
Okay.
And then you use the improv rule, yes, and, to explain why. Yes, I got you a bucket of sand, and I know how much you love building sandcastles, even in the office.
Okay, I get it. It forces you to think quickly and build on an idea spontaneously.
Precisely. It gets you comfortable with thinking on your feet.
So, moving from the mindset to the actual sound, let's talk about sounding natural, that native speaker flow. It's often about connected speech in reduced forms, right?
Absolutely. This is like the secret sauce. Connected speech is just how words naturally blend together. Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
Almost always sounds like, what do you do?
Or, let me get you something,
Let
becomes...
me get you something. Yeah, it's not sloppy. It's efficient. It gives English that rhythm.
And then the reduced forms.
Yeah.
The contractions everyone knows, but also the spoken ones.
Right. Not just don't or but wanna for want to, gotta for got to.
Don't you for don't you.
Yep. Or I don't know for I don't know. Super common. And you also get sounds changing slightly.
Like the T becoming a D.
Exactly. That T to D flap. So butter sounds more like butter. Little becomes little. And words link up too. Next door often sounds like next door. These small things make a huge difference in sounding fluent.
So how do you actually practice this? It's one thing to notice it, another to do it.
Active listening is key. Like, really tune your ear when you listen to native speakers, podcasts, videos, whatever. Notice where words link or reduce. Pause the audio. Try to mimic that exact sound and rhythm yourself. Record yourself, maybe. Listen back. Compare.
So it's like mimicking the music, not just the words.
That's a great way to put it. You're internalizing the natural cadence of the language. It takes practice, but it really pays off.
Okay, beyond the sounds, what about the words themselves? Using idioms, more conversational language.
Crucial for sounding authentic. Using common idioms shows a deeper feel for the language. Things like hit the nail on the head, meaning you got it exactly right.
Or spill the tea.
Yeah, for sharing gossip. Or go the extra mile, doing more than expected. Using these naturally, not forcing them in, makes you sound much more fluent.
So how do you learn to use them naturally, not
Yeah.
sound like you just memorized a list?
Good question. One tip is to focus on learning maybe one new idiom a day. Understand it, sure, but then try to actually use it in a real sentence or imagine a situation where it fits perfectly.
Make it active, not passive learning.
Exactly. And related to this is using everyday conversational language. Like instead of saying something formal like, one must consider the implications, you'd just say, you got to think about what might happen, or this is really important for you.
Right, matching the language to the context. And what about fillers? Like, or,
They get a bad rap sometimes, but honestly, natural fillers, like basically, well, they're part of natural speech. They give you a microsecond to think. They manage the flow. Don't overuse them, obviously, but don't obsess about eliminating them entirely either.
and recognizing things like sarcasm too, right? That's part of natural conversation.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Understanding those nuances, the tone of voice that completely changes the meaning, that's advanced stuff, but so important for real connection.
Okay, this might sound weird, but can structure actually help you be more spontaneous?
It sounds like a paradox, right? But yes, absolutely. Having a simple structure in your back pocket can seriously boost your clarity and confidence when you're speaking off the cuff.
How does that work? Doesn't structure make you sound rigid?
Not necessarily. Think of it like mental scaffolding. When you speak spontaneously, your brain is doing a million things, finding words, forming sentences, staying on topic. A structure simplifies the organizing part.
Ah, okay, so it frees up brain power.
Exactly. Matt Abrahams offers some brilliant, simple frameworks. One of my favorites is what? So what? Now what?
Okay, break that down. What? So what? Now what?
Simple. First, state your main point or the topic, that's the what, then explain why it matters, its significance, the so what, and finally suggest next steps or implications, the now what.
Can you give an example? Like, if someone asks why you like your job.
Sure. My job involves teaching communication skills online.
What?
It's really rewarding because I see people gain confidence and open up new opportunities for themselves. So what? My plan is to develop more specialized workshops on virtual presentations next. Now what?
Nice. Clear, concise, covers the bases. Very useful. What's another one?
Another great one is problem-solution benefit. Identify an issue, propose a fix, and explain the positive outcome.
Okay.
Like, a lot of learners find pronunciation tricky, especially connected speech, problem. Using shadowing techniques, where you mimic native speakers from audio, really helps target those specific sounds solution. This leads to much clearer, more natural-sounding English and boosts speaking confidence overall benefit.
Gotcha. And these structures must be lifesavers in tricky situations, like tough questions in a Q&A.
Totally. The key is not to panic. First, maybe acknowledge the questioner's point. That's an interesting question, or I understand your concern. Then paraphrase the question quickly to make sure you got it right. So, if I understand correctly, you're asking about X.
Buys you a second to think, too.
Exactly, and it shows you're listening. Then boom, deploy your structure. What, so what, now what, or problem-solution benefit. It gives you a clear path to answer confidently, even if you were initially thrown off.
This all leads perfectly into thinking about specific goals, like the IELTS exam. How do these strategies apply there? And what about feedback?
Well, for IELTS practice, simulating the actual speaking test, parts 1, 2, and 3 with a partner is gold. You focus on fluency, coherence, using natural language, all within that exam context.
Mock tests, too, I assume.
Oh, absolutely essential. Doing mock tests under timed conditions helps massively with nerves. You get used to the pressure, refine your timing, practice speaking conversationally, even when you know you're being assessed.
And maybe setting a specific IELTS goal within the 100-day challenge, like a 30-day sprint.
Great idea, as focus. But underpinning all of this practice, especially for IELTS, is feedback. It is absolutely crucial, non-negotiable.
What kind of feedback specifically?
You need input on pronunciation. Are you hitting those connected speech patterns? Is the sound clear? Are you saying bottle instead of bottle? Also, grammar, vocab choices, and coherence, how well your ideas link together.
And where do you get that quality feedback?
Native speakers, qualified teachers are ideal. Even some AI tools are getting pretty good at analyzing accent and pointing out specific sounds to work on.
Then it's about reviewing that feedback,
Yeah.
right? Not just getting it.
Yes. Review recordings, review notes, daily if possible. Identify those mistakes and actively work on fixing them. And you have to embrace the awkwardness at first.
Uh-huh.
Making mistakes feels uncomfortable, but it's how you learn. Pushing through that discomfort with consistent practice, that's what builds real lasting confidence. And platforms out there like happytalk.in, for example, they really try to integrate these elements, real conversation practice, feedback loops, community, tracking progress. Yeah, it shows how these principles can be built into a system that supports that consistent interaction and improvement cycle.
Okay, so let's pull this all together. It's really a powerful mix, isn't it? Daily practice with real humans.
Essentially.
Psychological tricks to handle the nerves.
Greeting anxiety, reframing,
Linguistic tools like connected speech, idioms, sounding natural.
getting that flow.
And then using simple structures for clarity and confidence, even when spontaneous. It all works together.
And the big takeaway really is that this isn't just about passing an exam. It's about fundamentally changing how comfortable and capable you feel communicating in English in any situation.
Yeah, moving beyond just knowing words to actually thinking and responding naturally in English, feeling authentic.
Exactly. Unlocking that next level.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, here's something to think about, a question maybe to carry with you. Consider how just 10 minutes a day, focused on these techniques we talked about. How could that consistent effort truly reshape not just your English speaking, but maybe even how you see yourself connecting with the world?